What's up, y'all? I'm Chris Hayes, 508. This is On the Spot. Today we got a very special guest. Please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, what you got going on.
Hey, what's up, man? My name is Galaxxyy. My real name is Nathan. I'm come from Riverside County in California, Southern California area. Right now, I just released my latest EP called the Boys EP. It's a four part stories around characters I pretty much grew up around in my environment.
Well, very nice. I was going to ask you more about the cover. We'll get more into the, because I saw that on the cover. We're going to ask more about the album. We'll talk more about the cover. We'll talk about the music video. We'll talk about everything you got going on. Before that, I want to officially welcome you to On the Spot. Thanks for coming through.
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It's my first interview I've ever done.
Here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, taking new strides this year, taking new strides.
Yeah, it's a big part, putting yourself out there. Now you are on the spot. We're going to find out more about you and your music. And the first thing that I always like to ask about is your name. So tell the people again what your artist name is, but also tell them who gave it to you. Why did you choose it? What does it mean? Tell us the story behind your name.
So Galaxy, when I came up with that name, I had just got out of high school and I really had like a real hard look, like, dang, like, what am I gonna do with the rest of my life? You know, am I gonna go to college or something? Then I decided on being an artist, mainly because it was something I knew that was gonna take, my whole life to do, and it could happen at any moment. And it was something I was very passionate about my entire life. I just never had the confidence to take it up. So when I chose Galaxy, I felt like it represented me because I know that the most important thing as an artist is to be authentic. So Galaxy represents, a lot of mysterious but beauty. And so I figured that represented me the most because all the stuff that I went through, I did my own little self-work and stuff like that, and I was able to overcome it. And so then I discovered my message. And so Galaxy was, I guess, a way so I didn't have to put myself in a box, Like, I like to explore different genres of music. And, yeah, just represented me.
I like that. That's a very artistic way of looking at it. Galaxy's mysterious and beautiful. I like that. Very, very poetic. That's a great way to look at it. And now we know your name, what it's all about, a whole lot more. And I want to find out a little bit about your journey. So how long have you been releasing music? Did you just start putting out music? Have you been putting it out for a while? Like, how did you get into it? I know you said you came up with the name after high school, but I just want to figure out a little bit how it all started, how long you've been going for, and then also what has been your motivation to keep going?
So I guess I'll just start. The beginning starts actually with my motivation. Um, my stepdad, who was actually like my real dad, he had passed away a couple years ago, a little bit after I got out of high school. And it was around when I first started making music. And so when he had passed, I was able to show him some of my previous stuff. And granted, it was nothing spectacular at all, like nothing good at all. But he had told me, like, keep going. He's like, that shit, excuse my French, that was his words though, that's you have real potential. And I was so kind of shocked because he's a black man, and I was raised around a lot of black culture. And for him to really tell me that gave me like the stamp for me and approval that I was like, wow, like, cause he listens to nothing but rap, and he grew up, and we used to always talk about NWA and all the other groups growing up. And so I really respected that boom bap era and stuff, the G funk. And so from there, I knew I had to just get better. And so I had all the motivation in the world to continue no matter what nobody told me. And so that's when the stimulus check and the COVID had hit. So I took advantage, and I've been working since I was 16. So I was able to get the checks. From there, I got my laptop. I spent like $700 on that. And then little by little, I just started collecting my music equipment, started really focusing on production because quality was like my biggest importance of music at all. And nothing better than hearing something good. You know what I mean? Like, just the quality, the beats, how everything hits. I feel like that sways emotion the most. And I knew I was nowhere near that where I wanted to be as polished. So this was 3 years ago. So then I started releasing music. I started up my pages. I started releasing stuff, and nobody said nothing. You know what I mean? Like I started doing funny videos and stuff like that, and I really didn't see no traction at all. I was discouraged, of course, but but I kept on going because I knew it was gonna take off eventually once I became what I wanted to be. So then I kept getting my friends to listen. I kept pushing. So fast forward to now, I got in touch with my brother's friend, who's actually a producer. He came out of a place and studied or went to school in Florida for music engineering. And from there, he showed me little tricks, but they went a long way. He showed me the stuff I didn't know and I didn't really understand. I got to watch him work a couple times, and then from there, it helped me as a producer and engineer really develop the sound. So then once it came out, this is the year, and I thought I was ready to finally put everything out. And then from there, that's where I got the Boys EP. I started going out, filming my own videos, editing, practicing all the edits. And then, yeah, I started doing my paid promotion. My recent promotion got off of a $30 budget, almost 400 views so far, and created a lot of talk. Finally got some haters. So it's been an experience, man. Yeah.
Wow. So you've had quite the journey in the past few years. It's definitely powerful about your stepfather and getting to share the music. And then just after that, it's powerful motivation to have. And then you've been getting your equipment, getting your experience. So networking, now you got the EP that's out. You got the music video, a lot of other content. I want to talk about all that in a minute. But also I want to find out a little bit about you outside of the music and the content and everything else. What is something you want us to know about you? Maybe something you've done, something you're doing, something you've been through, something random. What should we know about you?
Um, just that I'm a very random person. I think that, you know, I borderline very sensitive topics and humor, but it's just because like it just developed out of just what I went through. And oh my God, sorry, I got cold. I just want people just to understand that part of me because the Boys EP would have generated whenever I was rapping about one of the verses talks about doing like drugs off of a stripper's parts and stuff. And it's just meant to emphasize that type of person.
Okay.
So, it's storytelling, and it's just at a more raw form. You know what I mean? Instead of talking about somebody, it's like talking about events.
Hey, these days, I don't know if you've seen all that stuff going on with Lizzo. I don't know. I saw a whole bunch of crazy things. So,
Oh man,
you're
no.
not the only one. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just
Yeah,
leave it
yeah.
at we'll leave it at that. But I appreciate you sharing that with us, guys. We're going to talk more about the EP in a second. Before we do that, I want to find out a little bit about your musical influences. Who are the top three artists that influence and inspire you?
As far as influence, I would say J Squared. He's pretty underground, but I listened to him since for like dang 5, 6 years now or something.
Oh,
And his sounds are kind of classical, and he uses his voice a lot. And so I really respected that aspect of it. And his rhymes, oh my God, he just goes crazy. His delivery is just wild. And yeah, that's pretty much my main influence. Somebody else who influenced me a lot was Tyler the Creator for sure. At first, I didn't really like Tyler the Creator because I was really old school, especially in my house. We used to listen to a lot of old school.
mm.
But then, I had to open up my horizons. I got bored. I'm not gonna lie, listening to the same stuff. It's not like Snoop and them were coming up with new albums, so I had to, open my horizons. So then after them, I'd say the last one was Kanye, for sure Kanye. A lot of my dive into like a lot of documentaries are on him, and especially how he came up. You know what I mean? I was really fascinated with um, his mental space, as other than just all of the drama. I really liked how he put sounds together, and he was able to articulate that, especially on his Joe Rogan podcast.
Absolutely. Great three choices. Let's just know a little bit more about where you're coming from. And now we only got a couple minutes left. We got about 2 minutes left. So I want to make sure we let the people know again. And also, I had a question for you because I'm looking at this boy's EP, and then you just put out this She Wanted a Hug music video. So is that on a new project that's coming out? Is that an old project? Because they came out around almost the same time. So why wasn't that on the EP? Is it separate?
Yes, they are definitely separate. She Just Wanted a Hug was a single. The Boys EP was something that's like brand new. She Just Wanted a Hug is like probably a year old by now, but like I said, the production skills weren't there. So I had to go back, and now I'm like redoing the majority of my projects to get them up to a par with quality. And I'm seeing a huge difference. People are like, "That's the same song." I'm like, "Yeah, bro." Like, I'm telling you, like when you produce it, I mean, when you engineer properly, like and make it pop or how you really want to sound it, it sounds completely good. Because a lot of my songs are really muffled, and a lot of early stuff is really just yeah.
Well, you've made a lot of progress, and I was asking because I saw the music video from that uploaded 3 weeks ago on that YouTube channel. So I was just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I was digging, looking through your catalog, but like you said, the new thing right now is the Boys EP. It's on Spotify. It's on everywhere. The Villain, the Fuck Up, the Joker, the Artist, and what do you want us to know about this EP? We got about 30 seconds.
I just want everybody to know that I did not do any of this stuff that I said inside of the EP. It's strictly storytelling. It's purely a concept album, project, and do not take it that serious. And just get the moral of the story. You don't want to be these people, but this is the reality that some people live, and it doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just face they just face a different upbringing, and they are who they are.
Wow, that's an incredible concept. It takes a lot of skill as a songwriter, as a lyricist, as a performer. So I really appreciate that concept and what you're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. We got about 30 seconds left. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to talk about? Any shout outs you want to give? Anything else you want to let the people know?
Um, Shout out T Bliss. He's part of my music career since I've started, especially when I sucked, and he's followed me up. Music for Pain, that's another account. She has an amazing voice. She's also an upcoming artist who hasn't gotten able to record studio wise, but is getting there. So they've been two of my top supporters right now, like as far as the last 2 years. So I really want to shout them out for that.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, Galaxy, I enjoyed the interview, getting to know you a lot better. I know everyone watching got to know you a lot better too. Go give Galaxy a follow right now. The name's down below. And again, thank you so much for coming through.
All right, man. Thank you so much again for having me on, especially for my first interview. You know what I'm saying? This shit was awesome. So appreciate you so much for that.
Hey, you're
And
starting
shout out
that.
to the Real Ones community. That's my community. So
The Real Ones community. I see y'all out there. Keep showing this cat some love, supporting. And I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. I got one favor to ask y'all. Press a like, drop a comment, share this on your story, go give him a follow. I'm Spacey 508. Let's go.